It's valuable to get into a book series on tarot for me because I realize that people need inspiration, they need reference points in order to understand their cards. And for me, it's been really useful to have a wide body of these references to figure out where my own practice fits in the tarot world. So if you like reading, you like having reference materials to work with, that's what this series is for. I'm going to start with this book, 78 Degrees of Wisdom by Rachel Pollack. It's a classic in the tarot field, and if people are looking for something to interpret the Rider-Waite deck with, this is the book that I suggest to them. Also, if they are looking for ways to explore their Jewish heritage through tarot, this is a great book for that because it goes in depth about a lot of the Kabbalistic meanings that can be applied to the cards. It's got a lot of meat to it. Pollack wrote comic books and also did a great deal of tarot work throughout her career. She is going to guide you in this book through ideas about the major arcana. She discusses this as the Fool's Path, as is fairly typical in conversations about the Rider-Waite. It is how the deck was designed by Arthur Edward Waite. Something fairly unique in Pollack's approach is that she discusses the concept of visual portals in the deck. She finds that these portals are presented very regularly in the minor arcana, particularly in the suit of Pentacles, as it's portrayed in the Rider-Waite deck. So any card that has archways, that seems to welcome you into the background, she discusses this as a type of portal that is inviting the viewer to enter into the card. The specific reliance on Rider-Waite imagery is consistent throughout this book, and reliance on utilizing Kabbalah and concepts related to the Tree of Life, the Sephiroths, the ways that they connect, are essential to understanding Pollack's methods here. She does go into every single card in a different segment, as well as discussing reversals of every card. So if you're looking to figure out if reversals work for you, you already know they work for you. She does a nice job of encapsulating how to interpret them and think about them. I like that she includes a chapter on types of readings to indicate that there's more than one type. There's a lot of different things that you might expect when you sit down for a reading with somebody. And she also has a lot of different spreads in here. This is her depiction of the classic Celtic cross that you'll find in a lot of your little white books that come with most tarot decks. She offers several different types of 3-card readings. She discusses this as the work cycle reading. She's got several in here that incorporate many cards and give you some ideas about how to look through the flow of the cards that you draw in order to interpret them in a sensible way. She is fairly clear in this book in distinguishing the history of studying playing cards and what that narrative is like, as compared to the practice of reading tarot cards and embracing other people's thoughts, lifestyles in those conversations, and showing how the tarot can help them to continue and benefit more from understanding the cards and getting somebody else's perspective on them. Another nice thing about this book is that reading this is going to give you a good basis for having conversations with other people about tarot. It lays out the most common ideas you're going to find in America, particularly because it's such a popular book. Pollack published several different things on tarot, held workshops, made it a central point of her life, and became one of the major voices that was disseminating tarot knowledge. It's a fabulous place to get started and figure out if you want to go deeper and go beyond that common understanding that you're going to find in your typical tarot reader at most fairs, marketplaces, general events. If somebody's reading the Rider-Waite tarot, hopefully they have made good use of Pollack's ideas. This is the only book that I'm going to talk about in this book series that is focused on the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. It's fine for what it is. People are capable of producing useful intuitions and divinatory work out of it. However, it is only 100 years old. It is inspired primarily by occultist concepts that were looking to reinterpret the initial tarot images in terms of Kabbalah, astrology, various concepts about ancient spiritualities that archaeology and further religious studies have mostly found to be less founded on reality and more founded on what the people at that time needed to think and believe and perceive about spirituality in order to escape a lot of ideas that had been imposed on them. These methods of reinterpretation have their psychological and historical uses. However, progress insists that we continue to study, that we unfold any knowledge that we can find about how the people who developed these ideas and invested their lives in them as they created moments in their own progress in history, the more that we understand the lived cycle of the religious and spiritual information that we are inheriting, rather than imposing our perspective from the current moment on what we think those people ought to have used those symbols, ideas, and practices for. The closer we are getting to those original concepts, the better we get to know our ancestors, and the more strength we are packing into our own inspirations based on those spiritual concepts. So for these reasons, if you don't want the greater depth that comes from going to the source, there's a lot of good work that you can do with these modern tools. But beginning with the modern tools will always give you more places to go, more things to explore, if you wish to continue your journey. And that's exactly why this is a great book for people who just kind of want to know what American tarot is about. It'll get them there. And Pollack's done a great job of utilizing that Kabbalah system to make it very clear how to connect the cards and the system that they were based on, getting the most out of that. And particularly for people with a deep interest in Jewish mysticism, Kabbalah, and who want to celebrate that heritage. Thank you very much for listening, and good reading to all of you.